Hello and welcome back to the Remembering Tuscola webcast. I'm David Porter. I'm here with Judge Mike Carroll and the Grand Poobah. Poobah? Is it Poobah? Is that how you say it? Grand
Poop
Potentate
ball. Poop
Ball.
ball.
Poobah Bill
Poop ball.
Englehardt. So the two of them are
Are you doing poop ball?
I'm doing well, thank you.
holding court.
David, how many years have we done all this?
17.
No, I mean, really, it's great. You were asking about introductions. There is no introduction.
I look back and of course Mike's been doing it a little bit longer. So we've been doing it 6 or 7 years, haven't we?
Mhm.
At least
Hey,
more than five.
when you get old as I am, it flies.
Well, I've counted up. We have scanned and posted. What what are you doing there, Mike?
Poop ball just let one fly.
No, no.
I'll remind our viewers that this is not scripted,
Oh, you know
nor
what?
endorsed,
They probably could tell
nor
that, David.
nor endorsed by anyone. I know we have scanned and posted more than 10,000 pictures.
Wow, and Bill and I got 98% of them right. That's just
You got
absolute.
you got
Incredible.
90. That's right. You were correct that 98% when you said that's a picture.
Yeah, and that's a human being. And was alive at one time. In fact, we got all kinds of stuff.
We've got all
We
kinds
observed
of,
all kinds of
yeah.
stuff.
Anyone we didn't know is from Hugo.
Well,
That's the
we
Death
have
Star.
we have two rules when it comes to Mike's analysis of the pictures. One, Mike is always right, and two, when Mike is wrong, refer to rule one.
Right.
Right.
Uh,
Don't write on the walls.
those are the rules.
Those are
And
the rules. Yeah.
Are you going anywhere for spring break?
Well, I'm not going where all these kids are despairing. I'll tell you what.
Oh, isn't that
I don't want to
nice?
go drunk out to the beach and have my boyfriend leave me in the water.
Mm-hmm. Guy you just met that night.
Yeah. That's
yeah, they
I
got
did
people
that.
disappearing.
Well, I was talking about that gal that's missing.
Yeah.
What these summer break things, there's usually one or two people die every year.
Mm-hmm.
And it usually involves malt-based muscle relaxants. It usually involves alcohol,
Mm-hmm.
or who knows, they're probably doing drugs, ketamine. I mean, isn't that,
Well, it's a sad state of affairs. I don't know why they have to go so far to get away, so to speak.
well, yeah. Your kids didn't all go down to Daytona Beach, did they, your boys?
No,
They went
no,
down to Golconda, didn't they? Visit
no,
relatives?
no. Two of them. I mean, it's always been baseball in the spring.
Oh, that's good. Keep them busy.
Yeah, they kept busy.
Keep them busy.
I
Spring.
I've only taken one spring break vacation with people my own age, and that was when I was in college. We went to over to Missouri and canoed the Current River.
Oh man, I did that once.
I did, while we're doing spring break confessions, I did one in law school with Danny Hinkle, a lawyer down in Atlanta. He's an Olney boy. Another guy who was a physics major. The three of us just decided Dan and I thought about opening a law firm. We researched the nation, and the fastest growing city was Jacksonville, Florida. It had doubled its population in 2 years. And we said, that's where we got to go. So we took a 4 day spring break to Jacksonville. It was nothing special. And we researched this doubling of population. It turns out they just annexed the county around it. So
Hmm.
nothing, they didn't really,
Nothing.
they weren't
Yeah.
really growing. They just annexed the property.
Mhm.
So we got in our car and drove home.
Mhm.
That was the end of our partnership in Jacksonville, Florida. No, I never quite escaped Tuscola.
No, never.
At least Bill came up from Golconda.
Yeah,
He's traveled a little bit.
yeah.
Why would
I'm,
anyone ever leave
Dave got,
Golconda?
Dave got away to Sparta,
yeah, Dave
uh,
was down at Mount Vernon
Mount
too.
Vernon, Sparta.
Kind
Springfield,
of a little traveler.
Springfield, Lebanon.
Never got out of Illinois, basically.
No, I never got out of Illinois, but I disappeared for about 20 years.
Yeah. Well, no, we never missed you because we kept reading your column in the
Well,
paper.
yeah, my column was still here, and that's something that comes up once in a while because it's like, okay, I left town for 20 years, and so people change and you forget people, but when your picture and your name's in the paper every week, people still know, So then I run into people and they call me by name, and it's like I feel so embarrassed because I don't necessarily know their name.
I think I mentioned this last week. I was at a funeral in Arthur for C.W. Kinney. You know, C.W., our buddy from
Mhm.
Arthur, passed
Mhm.
away.
Mhm.
And a gal about my age, a little younger, was helping somebody older and says, Mike, how you
Oh,
doing?
oh.
And I went, help me out here. Now, couldn't I said, how you doing, Tex? Great to see you. You haven't changed a bit, whoever you are.
Who was it?
Well,
You
she
remember
said,
her name?
she said,
Yeah, Mary.
yeah, she said, Mary. And I thought, oh, yeah, I have no idea.
Oh, Mary.
I have no idea. Could have been Jesus's mother, as far as I
How,
know.
how tall was she?
I don't know.
You know,
But you know what? I probably do know her. I'm thinking, is it,
school kids do that to me.
yeah, how do you remember all your,
Oh, I don't.
when you're teaching,
I don't.
when you're teaching and and I asked this to Dave about Jenny, you got 20 some kids in the class and you've got 5 classes. How do you remember all their names? How long does it take?
Well, that doesn't take too long within the classroom. It might take a little longer in the whole building. And the
When
way
you're,
you get to do that is
oh,
you
your
learn
principal.
by doing lunch tickets and doing recess duty. And then you know everyone in the building. As principal at one time, I think everyone would vouch for this. I did know everyone's name
Wow. How many kids
in
were
the
that?
building. At that time, there were about 320.
And today you can't find your glasses.
Well, I did bring these.
Yeah, I know.
I did bring
I don't see how
those.
you do it. I can't names a
Well,
face I never forget, but a name I
I
don't
know
care.
some people named Mary who are a little younger than you. Should I go through the list?
Well, yeah. Magdalene.
you know, Jim Chaplin told me when he had trouble remembering students, what he would do is look them directly in the eye. And he said their eyes would give them away. And I'm still trying to figure that out.
Well, that's funny because
Mouth.
I may have told this story one time. They had a Halloween party at Rock and Rodney's where the breakfast place is now, and I thought I'm gonna really pull one over on them. I wore a full face mask and I wore a jacket, my dad's boots, and all clothes I'd never worn. So and I even put gloves on. So there's nothing showing that's me except the eye sockets. And I walked up to the bar. Juanita Earl was at the bar. And I walked up and she says, "What do you have, David?" I,
You
I said, "How in the heck did you know who I was?"
look in your eyes.
She
You look in
said,
your
"I."
eyes. Yeah,
Yeah. She said, "I can see your eyes."
there's a cowgirl story I always thought was funny. Joe had, as you said, Joe had taken off, left Tuscola, went to college, University of Idaho. He wanted to be a forest ranger, and they had a major. I think they had a major out there in forest management or whatever. And he was out there 4 years, and it might have been. So he's been gone from Tuscola 4 years, and he came back home. I think after college, he'd been gone 4 or 5 years. And I remember my mom had a beauty shop out in the garage, and Joe said, I'm going to sneak in and surprise her, see if she remembers me. So I'm in the beauty shop, and Joe walks in the door, and mom turns and says, Hi, Joe, and then goes back cutting someone's hair. And Joe looked at me like all the air was out of the balloon,
Yeah.
like he was never gone. But yeah, it's funny.
But I will say this for anyone out there, the minute that you walk out those high school doors, graduation night, it'll never be the same. It all changes right there because you won't be together again ever, all of you, you know. Those kind of things take place. And as you get a little older, You
Well,
think about it.
I just left high school a few years ago.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what Warren Lineberger, my math teacher, told me at graduation. He walked up to me. I really liked Warren. Great math teacher, great guy. He said, Mike, he said, you just walk around the building today, walk around the outside because you'll never experience it again. I said, watch me, I'm never going to leave Tuscola. No, it is true. I always said, who was it? Thomas Wolfe wrote, you can never go home again. Time's linear, you can't go backwards. I always said, if you play it right, you can come close.
Well, what's Pat Monahan saying, Arcola?
Boy,
You're always old enough to be a fool or something.
well, no, Pat said you're never too old to be immature. That's the Lone Ranger symbol. Those guys are trying to recapture the good times.
The good times.
And there's no rule against it, really.
No. Speaking of good times, you have pictures.
Yeah, Bill's ready.
Bill's ready for pictures?
We're ready for business. We're open for business.
Well, that's what we're here for, I guess.
Yeah, even though well, we're going to get this one.
You're going to get this one?
Yeah, we're going to get this one. I think this is, we're looking south and the track's going that way. And this is Park Street. And this is the little street where they built houses over here.
They built houses later on, but that's
one guess.
Well, see the bus barn?
Yeah, that's
back there?
Gould's. That's Gould's.
That's Gould's.
So that's
Curve.
Curve. We're looking about where the overpass is. Looking back.
There are the buses.
Yeah, we got the buses.
And this is probably before they ever built any houses across this street here, whatever it's called, Wilson Street.
Yeah, on the right-hand side of the
yeah. On the left-hand side, if you go back, enlarge it, make it smaller, this was the rooming house here on the lower left-hand corner, right as you go across the tracks was a rooming house.
Mm-hmm.
2-story, and they tore it down for storage.
Look how close it was to the tracks.
Pardon?
Look how close it was to the track.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they would offload ammonia tanks there. If one of them ever leaked or blew up, whoever was in that boarding house would not wake up. Or as they say, they'd wake up dead.
Junior Donalds lived in that boarding house when he was a kid and worked at Kelsey's.
Yeah.
This was taken from the top of the grain elevator.
Yeah, and I think if you look all the way down, go back a little bit, go back to the next one. All the way down there is DeKalb. From this street, right? That's DeKalb.
Yeah.
The plant.
Oh, yeah, there's the brick. I can see now.
Right there's DeKalb.
But it's before the new warehouse.
Right
yes.
there.
Yeah, that used to be the tower.
Yep.
They tore down. They didn't need to go that high.
The grading tower.
Yeah, someone's on the overpass, I think, or
they're on top of the grain elevator.
I think
that could be the grain, but it could be, I don't know.
The overpass went in about 27. Is that what
I'm not sure that's the top of the elevator.
I think you're not sure. I think we can tell from this next picture that
the elevator lines up exactly north-south, probably with Wilson Street.
Go ahead. Next picture.
I think we can tell from this next picture.
Well, where is it?
That we're on top of the grain elevator.
Oh, no.
I think we are.
Well, that's a different angle now. See, now you look.
Boy, there we are.
Now look at this. See the angle of this here? Go back to the other one. You don't see this.
Well, it's a curve right there. It goes back over here.
Well, Mike, they didn't necessarily stand in the same spot both times.
Well, that explains the mystery.
Mike's still. What do we say about those two rules? Mike's still trying to prove that this one was not on top of the grain elevator, even though there's
a third rule we'll talk about later. But you look way down there, almost you can barely see it. There's the Steak and Chicken Mattoon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can see it right from here.
This is all grown up in here now. You don't see that.
Yeah, I know.
A little slough down in there.
What was this, Bill?
This is Route 45.
Seems like this. Is that the trailer park?
Over on the.
It would be no.
It's on the right side. Yes, that's the. That's the
That
trailer
would be the
court.
trailer court.
That's where Route,
Yeah.
right,
36.
yeah. Route
That-
36. There's the trailer court. Bud Rice's house to the right of it, Bud and Georgiana.
Why are they cutting all those trees down out there at the
I don't know,
Cloverleaf?
somebody who burns wood would die for that. They look good to me. The stumps look
I
good.
don't know. They're,
A lot of work.
maybe David hasn't seen that.
No, he didn't.
Well, I don't see, if that's the trail, I don't see Route 36 over here.
No, it's not.
No, it is. That's decal, and right in front of it is Route 36. It goes
Yeah, it
straight
has
that
to
way.
be. It has
That's
to be.
it. There's railroad tracks over the underpass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That'd be,
that would be the Cloverleaf.
That's the cloverleaf down there, David. See that?
That's
Right
what that
here?
is. Yeah,
Yeah, turning right and
yeah, but I don't see the road going, I don't
well,
see a
there is-
road over
there is
here.
one.
If that's 36, I'd expect to see
Oh,
it
yeah.
over here.
Well, there's crops up and stuff. You just don't see it.
boy, Mitchner and Taylor are gonna have a ball with this. That
Well-
looks like a puzzle, doesn't it? That's like a puzzle.
Yeah, they ought to take a shot of that and make it into a 5,000 piece puzzle.
Hmm.
Okay,
What we got back here?
across the road, that's the
Yeah.
field.
Field, I guess.
Yeah. They'd already torn down the Fornoff mansion.
No, they hadn't by here.
Like Althodia's a
This
girl.
is 1962. Fornoff Mansion would not be torn down yet.
Not yet.
That's what I said. It's right there on the left if you look at it.
This is 1962.
It's in 1962. The Fornoff Mansion wasn't torn down till the 80s. Late 80s, probably mid to late 80s.
Well, they did it earlier than that. They built a jail there. I think the
I
jail-
know, but I was here when they built that jail, and I
Well, I
didn't
was
start at
too.
I didn't start at the newspaper until 1984. So it was still here in 84. Because I covered the building of the new jail.
I designed the new jail.
You were the architect?
I said, I didn't know, I gave an input. I said, make sure you got some bars in there.
Yeah. All right.
Let's show another picture here. Is that Althody?
No,
No, who is that?
no. I can't tell. I was trying to identify this other lifeguard or swimming instructor.
I don't have any names on this one. I got several swimming pool pictures, so maybe we'll
Oh,
figure
good.
out some of them, but I thought you might know some of these people.
Well,
Looks like you just went down to 97.9%.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Okay.
we won't dwell on it.
Bill, there's your new 800 amp service to your
Boy,
house.
that's no kidding. Is that the, no, I'm not even gonna guess.
Could be the elevator, could be decal, could be the school.
This is I believe this is at the elevator.
Yeah, it could be the elevator. They have massive.
Now we got another picture of a guy, Dean Mulligan. That's not Dean, is it?
Well,
Could be.
Looks like him to me.
could be, but I don't know.
Well, let's see.
He was younger looking back in 62, I imagine.
I think it may be because I think this is the same guy.
That's Dean.
That's Dean.
Yeah. But isn't that the same guy?
I believe so.
Was he the manager of the elevator?
Yeah,
Before he sold
yeah,
insurance?
before he went into insurance.
Oh, now see, that's proof that the photos were taken up there. You can see.
Well, I bet Cheryl would like to see that.
Well, I imagine she has.
She has.
Oh, did you get comments on it?
Yeah, she's the first one to comment,
Yeah. He knew all along.
looks like.
Yeah, we're guessing, see, and he's seen, he knows. It's not fair, actually, the way
It
we
really
do
is.
this.
I actually have been on top of the grain elevator and took some similar pictures in the 80s. I'll have to find those.
I think I've told this story one time when I went to law school to make money. My brother-in-law ran the Pasodum elevator, and I worked from midnight till 8 in the morning during harvest. And my job was to go up this boot, the elevator, and
Mhm.
as you're filling the bin, you're supposed to go upside and take these manholes off and measure it and stop before it gets full. And the boot is totally dark, and it's a one-man lift that goes up, and it's open in the front. As you go up, it's just nothing but fall. So I get up on the roof, I open the door. This is November. The wind's blowing about 50 miles an hour, and it's ice coated. And I step out to measure the thing. The wind gets me, and I just start sliding across there to the edge. And it's gonna blow me off the edge of the top of the elevator.
Yeah.
And I drop to the ground and claw back. And I said, to hell with it. And I just fill it up till it overfills the boot, you know. And the next morning, Steve, my brother-in-law, says, "What are you doing overfilling the boot?" And I said, "Oh, I don't know. Just forgot."
That would be dangerous.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's not howling it down the ground like it is up there.
Yeah.
Hi, Becky.
Hey, Beck.
Hey, Becky.
The Baxters entered the room.
Dean Mulligan.
That's Cheryl's dad.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? That's a grain cleaner. That's
Cleans the grain.
Technically.
now.
Grain dust is dead.
Now, hold on, because I've got a little story.
That's not a grain cleaner, by the way.
I worked at DeKalb. I went to Saginaw, Michigan, and picked up the new, from A.T. Farrell and Company, I picked up the new big cleaner that was taken to the new warehouse and grading tower.
That's the story.
DeKalb.
That's the story I've always heard.
Yeah.
Well,
According,
grain dust is deadly in these grain elevators.
according to David Wilson, who worked there in 1962, this is the scale in the head house.
That's what I thought. You thought it was a grain cleaner.
Yeah.
David Wilson worked at the grain elevator.
He said he worked there in the summer of 1962.
That doesn't look like a scale.
Doesn't look like a scale.
No, according to,
And it probably is, but it looked like a grain cleaner to me because
it does look like a cleaner, but according to David, it was a scale.
Well, how about I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm staying out.
yeah.
I could back you up.
You just keep sliding off the top of the elevator.
But you keep going, picking up. You went and picked up a scale and thought you had a damn grain cleaner. You probably picked up the wrong damn thing.
No, I didn't. Delbert was very proud of me. Happy with me.
You didn't know what you were getting. Well, we should know that gal. This is 62. Well, that's a modern haircut for 62. That's kind of a French flip. Oh gosh.
You do know who it is.
Well, can you give me initials?
It's someone our age.
TN.
Who?
TN.
Tamara Neal.
Tamara Neal.
Tammy Neal. Well, she would have been an 8th grader, freshman that year. She's a pretty girl.
Well, she would have been a freshman. Yeah.
She was smart as a whip.
Yeah, pretty girl.
We both dated her, didn't we? I did. Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you mean? You did or you didn't?
Well,
She went down to
her dad would.
Wayne, yeah.
Wayne
Yeah.
was somewhat. He let you come in the door.
Well, I was a basketball player, so I got in.
Well, I was a basketball player too.
But you hung around Greg Skinner.
That might have been a problem.
So that was a door closer for a lot of families.
Define date. There's a lot of girls I dated that I'm not sure they would have said that was a
Well, I
date.
mean, I thought about going out with her.
Yeah, you thought about it, yeah.
No, I had a fantasy date. No, Tammy went down to New Mexico State,
Still there.
English major, taught English.
I don't know what she did.
Did she get a PhD, doctor?
Seemed like she came back one time,
She came back to reunion about your 20th or 30th.
something like
It was
that.
the one at the old museum.
Yeah, she
I-
did come back.
She was a great gal.
I don't have a name on this one.
I don't recognize her.
No, I don't.
Boy, that pool was really great in the summer. Everybody went to it.
Yeah. Wonderful asset.
I wasn't going to use this one but I thought maybe you might recognize some of these
Boys?
boys.
No, I don't recognize.
Well, they'd probably be a little
But
younger than you guys.
I thought it was Daryl Ferris. Is that Rob Kahneman? Go back to that down there again. I'm thinking Rob Kahneman in the middle. Daryl Ferris.
do you have names on it?
No, Daryl is a frequent contributor, but hasn't commented this week. I think these are maybe the same kids.
That still looks like Rob Kahneman in the middle. And Judy Lewis down at the end? No. I can't
You
tell.
know what? You'd be pretty close on that one, I think. That's Judy. I think it kind of looks like her, doesn't it?
Yeah. Sweetheart.
Yeah, she was a great gal. Great sense of humor. Now,
Well,
come on. Here, we should know this.
curly haired.
Curly hair is right. Patty Grimm?
Oh, I was going to say Furco, but
No. Huh?
Rosemary Smith. I mean, I don't know. Got a name?
Jane Doe.
Jane what?
Jane
Doe.
Oh,
Doe.
No, I don't have a name. You know any of these?
well, I know none of the guys are doing the exercise right. Yeah.
They
Oh,
turned that
yeah.
into a house.
Yeah. It's
Mhm.
the end of the drive for you.
Did you go to Wimple Park?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, it's now a house where Brian Hunt lives. Hillcrest Baptist Church. There you go.
Gary Burr. Gary Burr on the left, Martina Bridges back in the middle. Porky,
Yeah,
is that Porky?
that's him. That's Gary.
Gary Burr on the left and back in the middle, I think. I don't know if that's maybe that's not Mardina, but
I don't think it is. That's
maybe
definitely Gary.
that's Gary. Well, if this is 62, Bill, Gary would have been an eighth grader or a freshman, wouldn't he?
A freshman. But he had his lifeguard
Yeah.
certificate. There's a Ford Falcon.
I was just going to say, how about the cars?
Ford Falcon
Yeah.
in the middle there.
Chevy,
Station wagon.
Corvair,
Corvair, I believe.
Pontiac.
Pontiac.
There's that gal again.
We're gonna have to figure this who that girl
Yeah,
is.
we don't know.
Girls all had to wear caps.
Yeah.
That wasn't fair. That was discrimination.
Now when I was younger, there were guys who were made to wear caps because their hair was so long, but it was unfair because the girls had to wear caps regardless of how long their hair was.
Right.
Part of diversity, maybe.
Yeah.
DEI.
Mhm.
Okay, let's see. Well, I've got the feeling I know somebody. Well, there's Mary McGrath.
Right.
Is this Helen Sanderson?
I don't know who's that. We know that third gal too, don't we?
I don't know about the third one. In the middle, in the back, is Mary McGrath, who also wrote for the Tuscola Review.
Right. Was it the
Hugo News.
Hugo News.
You have several names here,
I only have one really, fourth from the left.
and that is
According to Toppy, it's Carol Collier.
I'll be darned. Carol Collier?
It doesn't look like
Our,
Carol
our,
Collier.
our Carol Collier today?
It doesn't look like Carol Collier to me.
She works at the bank.
Andrea Harsha says, "Yep, that's my mom." Oh, fourth from the right. Andrea says
There
so.
you go.
Oh, yes, okay.
Oh, okay.
They had
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now I see that.
Toppy had her
Right.
actions backwards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Works at the bank. Great gal. Same gals, rearranged.
Mhm.
I'm guessing this was a 4-H fundraiser.
Probably.
That game was called 500 or Bust. I used to play that.
Yeah. Oh, that's what they were trying to raise. This is at the community building. I do have names.
Shoot them.
Betty Duffel and Kate Albin.
Well, we're talking to folks down around Hinesboro.
The Duffels. The Duffels and the Dags and the Straters. Oh, that's pitching pennies.
Oh, I tried to win that
You
game.
can't do it. You can't do
It's
it.
hard to do.
You got to throw way up in the air and
Yeah.
put glue on
Yeah.
it. Put glue or honey on
Yeah.
it.
Gonna do away with those pennies.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Well, that's been banned. There have been a lot of people killed.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they allow this game anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was a dangerous game. You shoot right through the wall. A lot of cats were killed.
Choose a number. Can you design something?
Yeah.
Bootleg days. This is during, there's
Must have
Elvis.
been.
There's Elvis.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Fortunes. You can have your fortune told.
yeah. Better than getting shot with a 32.
Got some newspaper articles over here.
Yeah, there you are, David.
There I am. Of course,
Hamlin man.
I wasn't born yet when this picture was taken, but
Well, you were still
It's
right.
all right.
I can relate.
Okay, I should know the lady on the right. Second one in on the right
Ross.
is Mary Ross.
Mary Ross.
Um, can't help.
Well, you got more names than I did.
Lived out west of town.
Virgil's. What?
Second one set down looks a little bit like Thelma Hedinger, but I'm not
Does.
sure. Thelma Hedinger. Wayne's mother, I'm not sure, not 100%.
I think it's interesting to see what the community building looked like back in the day.
And they had the old hat rack back in there. You could walk in there any day and pick up a hat that'd been there for about 5 months
Mm-hmm.
with dust on it, or an umbrella and just take it.
Got a water fountain back there in the
Yeah.
lobby.
Still there.
Yeah,
It's still there. Probably not the same water fountain.
this is
No, it's a different water fountain.
this is where they had the hop, the wick,
Mhm. The wick.
wiki. Oh, here's our
Oh,
here we go.
Okay.
That's Sis Morris in the middle.
Now, I gotta say this. Third one in from the left, that's
Yeah.
Sharon Payne.
Right.
Third one in from the right, that's Dana Davis.
There's Dana.
I believe that's Dana.
And the middle one is, I think that's Sis Morris, isn't it? She was in tumbling with Matheny and Toomey and those gals back when.
That's Cindy?
No,
Morris?
Sis.
What was-
Cynthia.
Cynthia,
Yeah.
yeah. If I remove the glasses, I think that was when Dana was younger.
Is that you? Were you on a date with her? Is that you?
No, that's not me.
You're fifth grade.
That's not me.
Newman girls.
Do you have names?
Only one I had is Cynthia Morris. Lived in Bourbon.
Yeah, she was
Holy smokes.
way back when Peg Pettit were teaching these young tumblers gymnastics. There was Linda Matheny started, and Sis Morris and Mary Toomey, and I forget but Sis was quite a gymnast. Help us out.
I don't know.
That's not Wilma Allen on the left, is it?
No.
Bad picture.
I don't think so. Joy Faye says, "Isn't that Mrs. Dale Cooch?"
From Atwood? Which
Well,
one?
I don't know. She didn't say which one.
Cooch is her famous Atwood name. This is countywide 4-H. Well, you got it stretched out over the county now. We're having to think.
Yeah, I don't have any names.
They're great pictures, by the way.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, this is a cool picture. Really iconic for
The quality's very high.
1962.
Big pixel count. Must have been a big format. There's Sis.
Whoa.
I used to do it on the basketball court a lot.
Well, I know, yeah, you used to warm up that way.
You have to dive for the ball, and I
Yeah.
would slide like that for the
Yeah.
ball.
Well, you were very flexible.
Used to be. Now I'm pretty much man of stone. No mas, no mas. Hands of stone. Her dad.
Cynthia
Yeah.
Moore, the one went by Sis.
Morris Construction.
I knew her sis in high
Yeah.
school. He was a year older than me.
What I think she was from Arthur.
Bourbon.
Bourbon.
On your way to Arthur.
There
She
you
went
go.
to school in Arthur. My oldest sister, Roberta, when she was young, everyone called her Sis. Sis or Sissy. So we lived next door to the Slaughter, so all the Slaughters still call her Sis.
Her dad. Oh, there's Ziegler.
Elmo, or not Elmo, it's
Dean.
Dean Ziegler worked at the lumberyard.
Look at how dressed up he is.
Man, he's ready to go.
That was a big deal.
Yeah, boy.
Dean put the bow tie on. That his wife?
No.
I didn't think it was. Did he get caught?
What? I don't know. Maybe that's why he got all dressed up.
I got a date, Marge.
Mhm.
Writing names besides
Yeah, Shirley Quinn says Doris White, first woman on the left.
I was going to think that Doris White. She looks a little bit big for Doris, but that was Phil's wife. Looks a little bit like her.
Phil caught him, or
It almost looks like my Aunt Margaret Carroll next to Doris. This would be an Eastern Star kind of thing.
yeah, that's what that is.
A lot of comments on this picture online. So if you're on Facebook, you can find these in the Remembering Tuscola group page under albums. Or go under media and then albums.
I'm guessing this Eastern Star.
Looks like it must be a basement of a church. I recognize one person in this picture.
Your mom? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That one.
We're trying to stay in good with him.
Yeah. No, my mom is not in this picture.
I didn't think she was.
No, I knew you didn't.
One with glasses is Hallie Hopkins. And
In the middle.
God, we should know her.
Yeah, she's real.
Jeez.
We do. Melbourne Yost, the back of his head. High potentate.
You know what? I think You're right.
The guy,
I think you're right.
I'm going to do a back of a head guess. That's Melbourne Yost.
Let's see. Chubb Connor says
Earl Mill.
Hallie Hopkins was his fourth and fifth grade teacher.
I
Yes.
got Hallie.
Roy
That's
worked-
easy.
Yeah, Roy worked at the bank.
Maureen Deaver says Mrs. Lena Helm, Tuscola High School librarian, and the back table facing to the left. She lived
Yeah.
across the street from us.
Very
Yeah.
good.
That's really good, Maureen.
Way to
Corner
go.
of Scott and
Way to go.
Niles.
Way to go, Mo.
And Joyce Miller Russell says, looks like Doris Romine sitting front table left.
That's who it
Doris
is.
Perlman
That's who it is. Doris Romine.
was a librarian at the school.
Did anybody
years
get
ago.
Melbourne Yost the back of his head?
No.
Oh, see, there you go.
Back of the head ones are good, hard.
Oh,
hard
that's yeah.
and that's
That's a pretty distinctive back of a head.
Earl Mills over there. Doris Helm was a sweet gal, nice librarian. Hmm.
Tim Hull says, my grandmother Esther Hull, third lady on the right at the United Church of Christ basement. And the church was built by the Reverend I.M. Hull, his great great grandfather.
I'm impressed by the fact they've got these heater or air conditioning systems built in the wall down in the basement. That's pretty unusual for a church basement.
Yeah.
Have HVAC systems.
I thought they had window units down there now.
Well, they must, because that'd be down in the dirt almost.
Wait, I made a comment about that church.
It's a block wall.
Remember, we eat there.
Oh, I love the noodle.
Yeah, they'd have that.
Health department slammed them down.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's a heat register. Might be hot water heat or electric heat.
Oh, but it had to be attached. It can't be in the walls. That's a block wall. So they
Right.
could run water to it, or it could be this electric plug-in.
Yeah.
Well, there's the offering. That won't buy you a minister very long.
No.
Offering last Sunday, half of what it was the year before. It must have been a bad lesson. Oh, offering today, $8.75, but still not. Attendance last Sunday, attendance today.
Who are the women? Do you know?
No.
Marcia Thomey says the lady in the middle is Mary Edna Martin, she believes.
Oh, now wait a minute. She lived next to
Mary Martin,
my grandma on West North Central. You know, he was a mechanic. Tommy Martin's mom. Tommy and Gary.
no, I don't think so.
Well, her hair, that looks a little bit like her, except her hair looks pretty sharp, right? She had short, dark hair. Lived right to the west of
Could be.
lived to the west of my grandma's.
Could be.
And I think they went to that church.
I remember what
They only lived a block and
his
a half
dad-
away.
CO
Martin.
C.O. Martin. I remember what he looked like, but I guess I forgot Tom's mother, what she looked like.
Yeah. No, she was shorter and dark hair.
We get you every time,
That's it.
David.
Well,
David.
that's good. You.
No basketball pictures of you this week.
How depressing.
That
That was a great team.
was a great team.
Wyatt,
Great, good guys.
Alexander, Eddie.
But as
can
we're
tell you-
talking about that, no, as we're talking about that, that was the 62
Two.
team, okay?
Right.
As we're talking about that team, so if you go back 63 years before that, we're talking about the 1899 team.
And I started for that team. Yeah. What you're saying is before we know it, that's going to be actually dinosaurs.
Yeah, I think it's already.
don't think like that. Don't think like
I'll
that.
try to think positive.
I can
We'll get it.
Let me get back to Zoom. I can show you next week's pictures as a preview. but I
Oh,
haven't.
yeah.
Oh, please.
Oh, yeah,
But I
we got so
haven't.
much so fast. Just give us a couple. Give us about 10.
Yeah, I'll go fast. I haven't edited them yet, so
Oh, there you go.
they're a little hard to tell.
Wait,
They're
wait,
still
wait, go back.
negative.
Go back to that one. We're gonna get that one. Go back again, the second one.
Now stop there.
Then turn it up. That's the minister.
Oh, well, we can't, he's turned sideways.
Well, he's about ready to fall over. Go to the next one.
I don't know if I can turn him. Oh, rotate, right.
That is, what year is this
Well,
from?
we got to talk about him next week, so
Okay,
don't try too hard.
Okay,
go through a few of them there.
we will.
They're still
Wait,
negative.
go back to those military guys. Go back to those military guys.
Oh, that's a lodge.
That's the high potentate. That's the left outside guard and the right outside guard of the lodge.
Yeah,
So this is what they look like before I edit them.
there you go. What fun. Well, we got a head start on it now.
So this is what you have to look forward to next week.
High school.
Is a bunch of Eastern Star. Oh, there's a fire.
What year is this from?
1962 still.
Wasn't that the high school?
I'm about done with the 1962 pictures. But I think I've got one or two more envelopes, but I'm gonna find another year after those just to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, but don't leave the 60s too soon because then it's all over.
I know, but I don't want to use them all up because if I'm out of 50s and 60s pictures, you guys will probably, you'll quit on me and then we'll be done.
We can go early 70s. When were you principal?
90 to 2005.
When we get there, you're on your own, buddy.
But I was teaching here in 79.
Well, and you said you remembered all their names. Just look at their eyes. So I expect you to
Well,
get
no,
all.
I don't. I really, some of them have changed so much.
Their eyes don't. Their eyes don't change.
Well, well, no, but the wrinkles around their eyes.
Don't look at that. Look at the eyes. You said if you looked in their eyes, you could know who they were.
Well, that's what Jim Chaplin told me.
Well, what does he know?
Old chap.
What does old chap know? My old baseball coach.
Yeah.
8 years old.
My eighth grade teacher.
What a great guy.
Yeah.
I really like Jim Chaplin.
He was really a good fellow.
His mom was
Cook.
cook out of the high school.
Mhm.
Simple life, only child. Lived down there on Buckner Street, right off Niles.
Yeah.
2 houses in. Wound up being a principal and a
Yeah.
superintendent.
He was a principal over a
Freeport?
yeah, Freeport, and it was a gifted school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you guys do all your clothes shopping at golf courses?
Yes,
Pretty much.
Yeah.
we don't get out of town.
Yeah.
Oh, the hats. Golfers wear golf hats.
Well, Bill's got his golf shirt on too.
Iron Horse and Iron Horse up here.
Bill, when they have a half off at the end of the year, Bill usually buys 2 shirts a year.
2 shirts a year.
Are you? You're down to 1 now, aren't you?
I'm pretty much down to one.
Our sponsor this week is Elite Builders.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, Elites.
We appreciate
I'm
your
glad,
contribution.
David, you've already got the negatives for next week. That's tremendous. You're ahead of schedule. Now,
Yeah.
how hard is that? Are the negatives what you actually pull out of you pull a negative out and you get it mounted up?
Yeah, I just take an envelope like this and it's
Right.
full of negatives. And I take a negative and I put it on my computer screen as a backlight. And then I take a picture of it with my cell phone camera.
Boy, this is
That takes time.
Then I use Photoshop to convert it to a positive from a negative. And that's
now
automated.
David, some of those pictures we saw looked like they were taken with a large format Mamiya or Hasselblad or Rolly.
All the ones we've had this last couple of weeks were this size.
Yeah. So, but what I'm saying is, when you take a shot with your camera, you would think you'd lose a lot of the pixels, but yet they still look high resolution, high pixel count.
Well, technology helps. I got a new camera, and I actually use a long exposure setting, which I can hand hold. And what that does is even if the camera shakes a little bit, what it does is it's taking multiple images over a period of like 1.5 to 2 seconds, and then it's matching those up, and so that it gives a sharper image.
Is that what they mean by anti-vibration technology?
Yeah, and anti-shake.
You know, when I did the history of Tuscola football with Rick McGuire 40 years ago or more, I actually bought I had to buy a macro lens, and I bought a stand where you take your camera up on the Mac and you lower it down. You could take a picture of small stuff like postage stamps.
Yeah.
It was a macro lens, had a 1-to-1. It cost a ton of money. And then later in life, I bought a little bitty rangefinder, Olympus rangefinder. Instead of the anti-vibration technology, I could just hold the stamp up and go bing like that, and it was perfect. And I thought, uh, how did that come out anti-vibration? Because that's the reason you had a stable stand to take shots
Yeah.
with, the vibrations. I meant a backlit thing.
I don't know, but I know on this one it does it by taking multiple shots. So even though you're holding the camera there, it's shooting multiple pictures and then combining them into one image. This has a macro lens on it, but I find that when I use it gets real grainy and it's not as good of an image because it's blowing the image up more.
Camera is that? What kind is that? Is that Apple or Android?
This is an Android. This is a Google phone of some sort.
Did you research it or just grab it?
It was the free if you renewed your.
I see. So you did a lot of research on his photo capabilities and noticed it was free.
This is a Pixel 9 Pro. Yeah, the biggest criteria was free.
The hell with the pixel count.
That's
The
well,
hell with
I
our
mean,
program, all the heart and soul we put into it.
I was using this camera, this phone, um, and I did research it and found the best phone camera at the time. But this one still is a better camera than that one because it's newer. But
Yeah.
no, it's like a friend of mine used to. If you ask him what kind of beer do you like, he says I like free and free light.
Yeah, well,
Hmm.
ain't it great? Dave, it's a beautiful day out. Bill and I are in a good mood. Nobody's we know close to us is really mad.
I think I'd be better off with one of those jitterbug phones.
Can you do the
I had a joke
jitterbug?
about that.
Did you?
I'll tell you about it.
Oh, okay.
Can you do the jitterbug, Bill?
No, cannot do the jitterbug.
Yeah, you want the big numbers, and you really my phone's got my old phone only has 3 numbers, 911.
You got that on speed dial, so you just press one
That's all I
number.
got. It just is 911. I can't, and
You need one of those things with a button, just a button on hanging from your neck.
falling, yeah.
I've
Yeah.
fallen and can't get up button.
This one is so busted up, glass and everything. There's where I turned it off the other day on you. Look how that's broken up at the top.
Yeah. There's that one.
The case is broken.
There's
Oh,
mine.
that's good.
There's mine. See mine, David?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. There's Becky
Becky Wecky.
scoring some points there.
I got some quotes you might like.
I don't have my wife on mine. I've got grandkids on mine.
That's great. David, I got some quotes from Joan Didion, the writer. As a writer, even as a child, long before what I wrote began to be published, I developed a sense that meaning itself was resident in the rhyme of words and sentences and paragraphs. The way I write is who I am and have become. We tell ourselves stories in order to live. I write entirely to find out what I'm thinking, what I'm looking at, what I see and what it means, what I want and what I fear. These are writing quotes.
I found
Anyway,
I came across something interesting. I use a lot of AI. Um, we have a magazine we put out for broom, brush, and mop, and I use AI a lot of times to come up with articles for the magazine, and it does a really good job. I also use AI to create artwork, but I found there's now AI where you can take uh, what you've written and put it to music. Like if you wrote a poem or a song. I'm not a musician, um, but it was just amazing how it can take and uh, put music to your words. Let me call one up here and see if
is it Bill singing again?
I
huh?
would do that.
Is it Bill singing?
No, it's an automated voice. So could you guys hear that when I played it?
I briefly.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a song I wrote over 30 years ago that from when my daughter was a baby. But all the music you hear is AI generated, and the voice is AI generated. So the person singing is an automated AI voice.
I don't need $1 million. I don't need the lottery. I don't need the golden Fort Knox. I don't need no money tree. All the riches in the world ain't gonna set me free. I'll have everything I need when I'm gone. I'll have everything I need when I'm gone. Your fa-
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, but your voice was so high back then. Did you just have
Well,
surgery?
you can pick a female voice or a male voice. You can tell
Well,
what
hey, I'm telling you,
They hadn't dropped
I've got an
yet.
article I was going to send you on artificial intelligence writing. I mean, you don't, David, you can write a novel through some of these programs. It says, just give us your basic idea and we'll write your novel.
yeah, and though some of the places that like even self-publishing won't accept AI written novels. I don't know how they can tell the difference.
Well, in my article, I talk about you can write essays at college, except the professor now has a program that can detect if it's AI. I don't know how.
I don't know how either, but
And so my solution was you do an AI, and then you go in and you mess up a few of the sentences with ignorant stuff, and that you'll avoid the professor's catch.
well, the interest on this music thing, you can tell it what style of music, whether you want to be upbeat or melancholy. You can tell what instruments you want included, and it takes about 2.5 minutes, and boom, you've got a song with the voice and the instrumentals, and
Well, they've loaded all these AI programs. They've loaded every bit of data in the world. They first loaded every book,
mm,
essay. They're recording every song, voices, and it's going to only grow more and more and more. And eventually, what everybody worries about is it'll eventually get to the point where it can do critical learning and even decide to grow and develop and morph into whatever it wants to be, like HAL the computer in 2001. And that's when Bill and I hope to be on the spaceship somewhere else.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm pretty sure we will be on the spaceship somewhere
I
else.
think we will.
So AI is unbelievable, yet it could spell the end of any need for humans.
yeah.
We're
That's
obsolete.
encouraging.
Well, you're obsolete now, but I mean,
Pretty much.
Dave and I could be in the future.
Well, yeah.
Give me hell. Give me hell.
Well, one thing about music is, and I've seen it with commercial songs, but I've seen it now with the song that I wrote, that you can, as long as if you pay attention to the meter and the lyrics are good, you can put it to any kind of music.
By
You
the
can,
way, your words, your lyrics were good on that.
Yeah, that was a good
song.
story you
It
wrote.
really was.
I fell off Barstool Mountain.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's the only song I've ever written, and a friend of mine put his own melody to it and recorded it on an album, and then Strings Attached, local bluegrass band, has used it in their performances. Uh, so sometimes I think maybe I should try writing another song.
Well, you're on your third novel, your third book,
Uh,
second novel.
Third book, second novel. Yeah, I'm pretty close to being done. I keep adding to it.
Yeah. Well, Bill and I are going to be on our 400th cheeseburger here in a minute.
Sounds good.
Well, David, you're a talented guy. You're a good writer, and evidently now we got to say you're a good songwriter.
I'm a songwriter.
He can do it all.
What can't you do? Dunk a basketball?
Can't dunk a basketball.
Well, you're in good company. Bill
I,
and I can't.
No,
I can't reach anything on the top shelf.
Well, it's overrated because as you get older, the taller you are, the further you fall when you trip.
That's what my grandmother used to
Yeah.
always say. The bigger they are, the harder they fall.
they say.
That is true, and I have 4 broken ribs over 2 different falls to prove that. Well, Dave, this is fun. Bill and I get a real kick out of this,
Yeah,
and
I'm so short I have to reach up to reach down.
keeps our mind straight. What's scary is Bill brings this stuff up that depresses me. That those pictures of me in a basketball uniform last year. He's saying if you apply that same 60
Plus years.
63 years
Mhm.
backwards, we're in 1898.
Yeah, well, you're talking about the yeah. Well, you got 62 was the tournament.
So it's right at the turn of the
it'd be
century.
1899. Yeah,
Yeah.
right there.
Well,
And
I
so
mean, it's
how'd that team do that? Who was on that 1899 team?
Well, Deadeye Kenny Huber wasn't even born yet, was he?
No.
Tat and I
Oh,
weren't even
Tat.
born yet.
that is an interesting perspective because I'm 60. And you think take the year I was born and take 60 years prior to that, that's 1904.
There you go. See?
Yeah, Tippecanoe and Tyler too.
Tyler too.
That's back in the 1800s.
I enjoy
Anyway, it's fun to do
yeah,
this, and I hope I know most of your viewers look at these pictures the day before. I don't know how many of them watch us, but we add context and brilliant commentary.
Brilliant commentary.
Yeah.
Well, you guys add brilliant
I
commentary.
will have someone say something to me. I do every week.
I just turn the
About-
camera on.
Every week someone says something.
Well, what are they? I assume your wife says hi or your kids say hi. And you want to get more
My
depth?
wife has never watched the program.
Well, what good taste she has.
Yes, she does. She's pretty smart. She does something else.
She hears it all her life. She
Shouldn't
doesn't
have
need to
time for
hear it
that.
again.
That's right.
So that
She-
so you
well,
can
she
say
just shrank.
so you can say anything you want, Bill. Now, Andre's not going to hear it
Well,
anyway.
Yeah. What do you really think about her? Now's the chance, buddy.
to admit.
Yeah, let it out.
Yeah.
Therapy, psychotherapy.
Well, as I told you last week, my niece is watching though.
Oh,
She watches, so
Oh,
she
she
would blow
does.
the whistle. Yeah, I gotta behave. I do have to behave.
Well, Bill, the proper response is
Oh,
there is
you're-
there's nothing that I think or could
hi,
say
Adrian. Yo, Adrian. There's
that
nothing
would
you
be
want.
offensive. I said the proper response is there is nothing that I think or could say that would be offensive. So,
There
Well,
you
I
go.
don't think it's offensive. I only find out later it was offensive.
well,
People
you're a different animal than Bill.
People are sensitive. I've found that out. People are sensitive to things. And in these times, even more
Well,
sensitive,
they're violent.
right?
They're violent. These are.
God
They're
dang.
violent. That's why I'm not on X. I can't believe it. If I'd worked for the federal government and Elon Musk sent me an X saying, you got 5 days to do this, I would never do it because I'm not on X.
We're not on X.
How would I know I even heard
I'm
from
not
him?
on
Was
X
X
either,
Twitter?
but X was Twitter, and I'm not on X, but for different reasons.
It's kind of a dangerous new area where the two most powerful people in the world, the president and Musk, control the two public platforms, Truth Social and X.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Wow.
Hmm.
And you and I've got maybe an hour and a half on this thing once a week.
Every time I hear something come out in the news, I remember my history lessons and I think of Neville Chamberlain.
Oh yeah, good old Neville.
Not in our lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Wrong
know,
about that.
I think Churchill said of Neville Chamberlain, he's a modest man and he has a lot to be modest for. Well, anyway, David, this is a treat. And thanks for letting Bill and I do this. You're going to have to find two other guys once we slip the surly bonds of Earth.
Yeah, but we don't
Not
have to
that I
worry
should.
about that for a long time yet.
No,
Well, you need to plan.
I'm
You need to
sticking
plan.
around.
Like Bill's planning, what if your hot water heater breaks?
That hot water heater is pretty old.
You got a plan for it?
Yeah, I would replace it.
There you go.
What are you going to do about the air conditioning?
Yeah, what are you going to do about that?
Now, air conditioning, we don't really need because I think that causes arthritis.
So you and Bobby Kennedy researched this?
I was just thinking about him.
Yeah, what a whack job.
How do you, a worm in the brain? I'm thinking, what the hell is a worm in the brain?
Well, I don't know. It's not good, is
I
it?
don't know. No,
It's not
not good.
Yeah.
Gee, I think we'll go eat, David.
We're veering off into controversial stuff. So
Yeah, we don't want to have any controversy.
I
Everyone's
like
afraid to talk anyway.
I like your hat, Mike, says Titleist. I've got one that says in Titleist.
yeah.
Mm.
Well, Titleist makes a good golf ball.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. Thanks for being on here, Mike and Bill, and we'll see you next week on Remembering Tuscola.